Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Natalya is a real veteran WWE superstar as one of the longest tenured roster members. Now that she's inside her 18th year with the biggest wrestling company in the world, the third-generation grappler continues to make history in a major way. Following major announcements on her future, Natalya just made a declaration to the industry. The Queen of Hearts trained in the legendary Hart family dungeon of Calgary and worked Stampede Wrestling and the Canadian indie scene for a few years, but she spent most of her career wrestling for WWE and its developmental territories. Earlier this week, Natalya was announced for Josh Barnett's Bloodsport XII event, promoted by GCW on April 17 at the Pearl Concert Theater in Las Vegas during WrestleMania 41 weekend. Today, the 42-year-old was announced for the NWA's Crockett Cup event on May 17 at the 2300 Arena in Philadelphia. Natalya is now touting her own tour across the industry. In responding to the NWA's announcement, the daughter of Jim Neidhart took to X today to officially declare the Natty World Tour is on. She tagged World Wrestling Entertainment and the National Wrestling Alliance. Natalya entered her 8th Royal Rumble as the 18th entrant, which was representative as this is her 18th year with the company. She lasted 17-14 before Liv Morgan made her the 11th elimination, with none of her own. Natalya has not wrestled on Raw in more than 2 months. Her last Red Brand match came on December 16, but aired on December 23, and saw Io Sky defeat Neidhart and Alpha Fire to advance in the Women's Intercontinental Tournament. The Queen of Hearts has worked 6 WWE main event episodes since defeating Isla Dawn in early December. She defeated the recently released Dawn 3 weeks later, lost to Ivy Nile in late January, then got the win back from Dawn to close the month. February began with a win over the recently released Sonya Deville, and last month closed with a main event win over Fire. Natalya has also worked World Wrestling Entertainment's Speed Series as of late. She defeated B-Fab and Michin to advance but failed to dethrone Women's Speed champion Candice LeRae in a time-limit draw. The backstage area at the WWE Arena was buzzing with activity. The wrestlers were preparing for the upcoming match, the technicians were running through last-minute checks, and the production crew was getting ready for the live broadcast. Among all the commotion, one person stood in the midst of it all, trying to process something that felt as monumental as the moment she had spent inside the ring. Natalya Neidhart, known for her deep connection to the wrestling legacy through the famous Hart family, was always a reliable and composed presence. With decades of experience under her belt, she had seen it all: championship titles, legendary feuds, and countless moments that etched her name into the annals of WWE history. Yet today was different. Today, Natalya was receiving a career-altering announcement. An announcement that would push her legacy further, challenge her in ways she hadn't anticipated, and leave a lasting mark on the entire WWE universe. It was a decision made by WWE management that, even after all the years she had spent in the business, left her with mixed feelings. Natalya took a deep breath as she walked through the corridors, her boots echoing with each step. She had been called to a special meeting with Triple H, who had been the one to deliver the news. The atmosphere in the arena had shifted in a way that was hard to ignore, and as she reached the door to the office, she braced herself for the unexpected. Inside the office, Triple H stood by his desk, arms crossed with a serious but warm expression on his face. Natalya had always respected him, not only as a wrestler but also as a leader within WWE. Their history together went back years, and she had seen him evolve into the driving force behind the company's current state. "Natalya, come on in," he greeted, his tone giving her a sense of reassurance, though she could sense the weight of whatever was coming. She entered the room, her heart pounding a little faster than usual. "Hey, Triple H, you wanted to see me?" "Yeah, have a seat," he said, motioning to the chair across from him. "This is something we need to discuss." Natalya sat, her eyes never leaving his. She had worked with him for years and had a strong sense of how he operated. This wasn't the kind of conversation that happened every day, and she was acutely aware of that. Triple H took a deep breath and leaned forward. Natalya, we've been looking at the overall direction of WWE, where we're going as a company, and the importance of carrying on the legacy of the superstars who helped build this brand. It's clear that you've been one of the most consistent, reliable, and skilled competitors we've had. But we also recognize that it's time to shift the focus for you a little bit. Natalya's brow furrowed. Shift the focus? What do you mean? Triple H gave her a moment, letting the weight of the words settle before delivering the news. WWE has decided to offer you a special, unique opportunity. As of next week, we're going to transition you into a hybrid role. You'll still compete in the ring when needed, but we'd like to explore your potential as a coach, an ambassador, and a mentor for the next generation of female superstars. The words hung in the air. The room seemed to go silent, even though the noise of the backstage area still filtered in from the hallway. For a moment, Natalya didn't know how to react. She had known that her wrestling career wouldn't last forever. Every wrestler knew that, but she hadn't expected it to come this soon, nor had she anticipated the idea of stepping into a coaching role while still an active competitor. She had always been passionate about helping others, especially young women who aspired to break into the wrestling world. But the thought of no longer being in the thick of the action, not leading the charge in a high-profile feud or competing for championships, it was daunting. Triple H, I don't know what to say, Natalya said, her voice trembling slightly. He gave a gentle nod. I get it. It's a lot to process, but we've been watching your growth, both in and out of the ring. You've been an ambassador for WWE's women's division for years, and now we want you to pass on the wisdom you've gained. I've spent my whole life in the ring, Triple H, she said, almost whispering. I don't know if I'm ready to step back yet. I've still got so much to give. I understand how you feel, Triple H responded. This isn't about stepping back, though. It's about evolving. You're one of the most respected women in the history of WWE. You've led by example. And now, we want you to help lead the next generation. It's about ensuring the legacy of women's wrestling is carried forward, and you're in a position to help that happen. Natalya sat there for a moment, processing the gravity of the situation. It was true. She had been around for so long that the business was changing, and she was part of that change. She had always been a trailblazer, whether it was stepping into the ring with the best men in the business or pushing the boundaries for women in WWE. But could she truly transition from an in-ring performer to a mentor? I've always wanted to help the younger talent, she admitted. I've always wanted to see women like Bayley, Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte Flair rise to the top. But this is different. This is stepping away from the front lines. I'm not sure I'm ready for that yet. Triple A smiled, a soft and knowing look in his eyes. You don't have to retire completely. Think of this as a new chapter. You'll still be in the ring, but more importantly, you'll be creating opportunities for others. You've seen how hard it can be to break into the industry. Imagine being the one to guide someone like Liv Morgan, Raquel Gonzalez, or Shotzi Blackheart. They need role models, and they need someone with your experience. Natalya was silent, her mind racing. She thought back to the countless hours spent training in the ring, the sacrifice, the blood, sweat, and tears. She had always prided herself on being one of the hardest workers in WWE. But perhaps it was time to start building something bigger than just herself. I've always said that women deserve more in WWE, she said, her voice growing stronger. I've fought for opportunities, for recognition, for respect. But maybe the best way to continue that fight is by helping those who come after me. You're right, I do have a lot to give. And if it means shaping the future of women's wrestling, I think I can do that. But it'll take time for me to get used to this change. Triple H nodded. Take your time, Natalya. We know you'll make the right decision. Whatever you choose, you'll always be part of the WWE family. You've earned that. Over the next few days, Natalya took time to reflect. She spoke with her family, her father, Jim the Anvil Neidhart, and her uncle Bret the Hitman Hart, two of the biggest legends in the history of wrestling. They had always taught her that wrestling was more than just physicality. It was about heart, passion, and leaving a legacy. And now it seemed like her legacy would be about much more than just the titles and accolades she had achieved. It would be about helping others find their way in the business she had loved her entire life. Her conversations with fellow wrestlers, both men and women, helped ease some of the anxiety she had felt about this new phase of her career. Many of them, including close friends like Natalya's longtime rival and ally Beth Phoenix, shared their support. They understood that the business was evolving and that each person had to evolve with it. "I'm proud of you," Beth said in a heartfelt conversation. "You've always been there for everyone else. Now it's time for you to pass the torch in a different way." As time passed, Natalya began to embrace the idea. She realized that being a coach, a mentor, and an ambassador wasn't a step back. It was an opportunity to create something lasting, to leave a different kind of mark on WWE. She was no longer just the competitor who fought her way to the top. She was the one who would help others get there. When the announcement was made publicly, the WWE Universe reacted with overwhelming support. Fans who had followed her career for years expressed gratitude for everything she had done for the company and the women's division. They understood that this change didn't mean the end for Natalya. It meant the beginning of something new, something bigger. The first time Natalya stood in front of a new class of WWE trainees, she felt an undeniable sense of purpose. She wasn't just there to help them with their moves or techniques. She was there to help them understand the importance of perseverance, of never backing down, of being a voice for those who couldn't speak for themselves. She was there to show them how to carry the torch forward, to keep the fire of women's wrestling burning bright. In that moment, Natalya realized that this was her next chapter. And for all the uncertainty she had felt, it was clear that this was where she was meant to be. Her legacy would live on, not just in the ring, but in the hearts of those who followed in her footsteps. And thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our WWE official YouTube channel for more update news.